Okay, this is my first proper video that I've done. Um, I've got a channel, a YouTube channel, but I use it just for videos for my kids. But I have been trying to figure out what God wants from me, why why I can feel Him so much. I mean, I'm not meant to be here, me and my daughter. We was told by many doctors that while I was pregnant, I should have died. All the way through my pregnancy, I was told that I wasn't going to survive, and hello, here I am. I wasn't a true Christian then. I'd say I believed in God, but I didn't have a relationship with Him at all. Didn't understand it. And then here she is. I'm not saying that it was a great ride or it was a perfect ride. I have got a lot of issues from that. I have PTSD, severe anxiety. I have manic anger issues. It's just all crazy. It's just all crazy. Got a lot of help with mental health at the moment. So that's just a little bit about me. Anyway, so then my daughter became ill. This one here. She was born with low Malaysia. Didn't know about it. She didn't put any weight on. It was awful. Went to the hospital. We thought it was a funny noise. We thought it was hilarious. It wasn't. Went to the hospital and the guy said that we needed to keep her upright, like when we been holding her up like this when she was a baby. And I said to him, I said, that's so weird. I said, because whenever someone's holding her, I'll tell them, no, you didn't need to hold her upright. You need to hold her upright like this, because that's how she likes to be held. And I said to him, I said, how did I know that that's how she needed to be held? And he said, just two words. Well, no, yeah, two words. He said, the grace of God. And it didn't kind of hit me right then. I was just like, oh, okay, that's nice. And then I left. And on the drive home, I was just thinking, like every time anyone would hold her, like lying down flat, I'd say, no, she doesn't like being held like this. So I just knew. I don't know why, anyway. And then when I started thinking about it, thinking, did God kind of get me to do that? I started thinking about all the other things, and when a few things kept popping up, now I would call them miracles. I'd call them certain people that God pushed to be in certain places at certain times. Yeah, I went through a terrible experience and it was horrible. It's left me with many scars. But I was told I couldn't have any more children. I was about to have a hysterectomy. And then I have this one, this beautiful daughter. And yes, it was difficult. There was a lot, it was awful. But this is what I got. And I can't make any sense out of it. But all I know is he gave me a gift, which was great for a few weeks. And then it was hell, literally a hell on earth. It was literally my hell on earth. And I got through it. So I believe I was tested, that if I was worthy of the miracle of Daisy, which obviously I am because she's here. And yes, he's still testing me now. He's still testing me now with, I'm not going to bore you with all the stuff that's going on. But the key thing is, that's when I found God. And it's, some people say they find God slowly. I found him on a drive home back from the hospital. That simple. My life, even now, it's a complete mess. It's a complete mess. Never been happier. Never felt at more peace. Never been more hopeful. Never been more carefree. Because I just know that God's got me and he's with me. He's not going to make anything better. I don't want him to make it. That's not his job. His job is to be with me, to give me the strength. That's his job, is to give me the strength to get through the day. His job is to give me the strength to be a better person. And since I realised that, he's plays a big part in my life. He's played a big part in my life. The hospital, when I first, because I got COVID, then I got pregnant, then I got COVID, then something wasn't quite right. I went to the hospital and they just kept saying, no, it's fine. And they kept saying, no, it's fine for about 4 or 5 months. No, 4 months. To the point where I went down the hospital about 5, 6 times, and they'd made me feel like I was a hypochondriac, so I stopped going. And my midwife said, no, you need to keep going whenever you're having chest pain. And I said, no, they're just making me feel like I'm crazy. And then this one woman called me, my stop smoking nurse, and she called me on the day I couldn't get off the chair. I was drained, I was pale, and she just said, please, Charlotte, please, just one last time, go down there. I said, no. I said, I'll sit there for 8 hours on my own, uncomfortable, blood tests, x-rays. And she said, no, please go down. And then this time I went down, and the one doctor said to me, when I got through to AEC, he said to me, what do they do once they do the blood test and the x-ray? I said, they send me home. And he just looked at me, and he was so angry. He said, there's no one's done a scan. I said, no, they just send me home and tell me I'm crazy. So they found loads of blood clots. Just now, that could be interpreted in many different ways. Many different ways. It could be, why did God do this to me? I don't think of it that way. I didn't think of it at the time. God wasn't even in my head when that happened. My thought was, I've got to tell my husband. My thought was, what am I going to tell my kids? My thought was, is my daughter going to be okay? Am I going to survive? And also my other thought was, I'm not crazy. So I had a little bit of relief thinking I'm not crazy. There is something wrong with me. I'm not a hypochondriac psychopath. Back to the point anyway. So, God, in my eyes, made it so I went that day. You know what I mean? That woman, Sean, her name was Sean, Stop Smoking Woman, amazing. She pushed me to go and I went. Then the right AEC doctor saw me, and he was just a young doctor. The difference between older doctors and young doctors is younger doctors will ask. Older doctors just think they know everything. I'm not going to get into the doctor thing because no, I'm not talking about it. Anyone that knows me understands. Yeah. So I was put on the treatment, and then I was sent to the haematology department. And the woman there was great as well. Great nurse. At the time, she probably felt she was making me feel good. She said to me, I remember these words were sticking mine and my husband's. She said, you're lucky. We find these kinds of pulmonary embolisms in the morgue. And it was kind of like, but it's okay, because you're on the treatment now. And at the time, that made me feel better, because I was like, oof. I never wondered about what happens when I come off the treatment. Oh, totally different conversation that is. But again, I should have died walking. I mean, she said you should have died walking your kids to school, because I'd be walking my kids to school as some people. But I've been, I've been pregnant before. I was just like, I'm just having a rough pregnancy, and people say, you look like death. I actually did look like death, And then it was a very traumatic pregnancy then. Spent most of lockdown in hospital, blood tests, x-rays, it was all awful. Anyway, so that happened. And so I can name a few things, but you don't see it. You don't see God working until he calls you, shall we say. Now, I don't know if he called me, but when that doctor said to me that it's God's grace, there was no other explanation. Yes, you could say it's a mother's instinct, but even then, who gave me that mother's instinct? And it's just amazing. So that's how I found God. And I haven't even I've started reading the Bible recently. My dear friend Diane gave me a copy. Because I started an Alpha course, which is, I would definitely recommend an Alpha course to everybody and anyone. It doesn't matter what religion, whatever. Just go. It's amazing. Meet great people. Ask the most randomest questions. The questions I ask, they must just get. They must have to drink a lot of alcohol by the time I finish, because I'm so thirsty for the knowledge of just everything, because I want to know. I want to know everything about my Saviour, because that's and so I've been trying to figure out why me. Why did He bless me? I'm not thinking about why He's testing me, because I don't need to worry about that. I don't need to worry about my health. I don't need to worry about my daughter's health. My son, I'm not going to get into it, but there's a lot of things going on with him at the moment. He's under investigation neurologically. It's not very good at all. But I don't need to worry about that. And when I pray, I don't need to pray for him to get better. I don't need to pray for me to get better. I don't need to pray for my daughter to get better. I pray for God to be there with me, to give me strength to get through the day, to give my son strength. I pray that he's okay and that he is blessed. And so that's what I pray for, because I just know He's got me. I just know He's got me. And most people will just say, why has God done this? Why has God done that? But I'm not going to recite the Bible to you, because I don't even understand most of it anyways. But why would we accept only good from Him? Or why do we only speak to Him when I know when I was having my daughter and they said, you might not make it out of it. My sister was outside the hospital praying all morning and my mum was praying. I didn't pray, because God didn't cross my mind at all. I didn't even give Him a thought about, but he's saved me. He's the only explanation, really. Anyway, so, and I'm trying to fit back to it again. I do go off. I go all over the place when I'm talking. So I'm trying to think, why has He blessed me? Why has He given me this? What does He want me to do? And people in church, they all say, He's got great plans for me. And this, I had a feeling earlier, this could be totally wrong, what He's trying to push me to do, but if He wants me to get my stories out there, this is the best way I can think, because I can't really... Talking in public, I yabber on and it goes round in a circle, and I use a lot of hand movements and pull funny faces. But I would personally like to put it on my YouTube channel. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little conversation every week, just to tell you all guys about my journey, because my husband doesn't really care. My son doesn't really care. None of my friends are Christians. As soon as I start talking about my newfound faith, the eyes roll. And I'm learning all this stuff, and I'm reading all this Bible. The Bible. I spoke to my brother the other day, and I said, you should read the New Testament, because the Old Testament is just awful. And he said to me, he says, how can they write a new Bible? I said, the Old Testament is before Jesus was born, and the New Testament is after he was born. It's not a new book. And that's what I'm thinking. People don't even understand the Bible. And I've never read it. I'm reading it now. I've read quite a lot of it. But people just don't understand the Bible. It's not a new book. I mean, there's like 60 books in the Bible. I think there's like 60. I'm not, don't quote me. But there's loads of books in the Bible. Isn't one book. There's loads of books in the Bible. There's letters, there's poems, and they've all put them together in one book. You know, it's not just one person sat there and just writ it all out. I mean, that would be a load of malarkey. My husband's just staring at me while I'm talking to you. But, so yeah. And the music, I've recently discovered this only the other day. I've just been sitting in my house, just amazing. Hillside United. Oh, what? And heaven, music meets heaven. Amazing. It's beautiful music, and you can feel God. You can feel the words. It's like a prayer. Again, I'm trying to put it on for my family. No one wants to hear it. I'm there just absolutely blaring it out, loving life, and nobody cares. So yeah, I'm gonna talk to my phone, and nobody might watch it, but somebody might watch it. And then I might actually be able to have a conversation with somebody who is maybe going through the same journey as me, or maybe just thinks I'm an absolute psycho. My brother might see this video and comment on it in the comments. He might comment he's a bit of an arse. He's a bit of an arse. So if you see some really negative comments, that's my brother. So yes, I've rambled on. Now, I'm also from the Black Country, so if you don't understand this video, it's okay. Nobody probably does anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go now, and you two people that are watching it can feel my love. I'm not going to end it with a prayer on my first video because, like I say, I'm new to it and I don't want to sound like a complete idiot. But I can have a go. I can have a go. Because I hear some people say a prayer and it's like amazing. Sorry, I just had to pause it. My food was just delivered, so I've had to run down the stairs, get my food, and I'm back. So the prayer. Yeah, I can try it. Okay, so this is the first time I'm praying in front of anybody. I do it. It's starting to get quite just random now. So I'm pretty new. So no judgment. See, I'm getting really nervous doing it. Dear Lord, please. Actually, I can't do it. I can't do it. Dear Lord, I'm doing a video on YouTube, and I'm just signing off the video, and I want to sign off in a prayer. I want to thank you for being there for me. I want to thank you for all the blessings that you've given me. I want to thank you for all the people that you've brought into my life. I want to thank you for the love that you've given me for just everyone, the world. I want to pray for all the needy. I want to pray for I just want you to be there for everyone. Yeah, and just please, just keep being you, and just keep spreading your love. Just keep trying. Just keep bringing it to us, because I just hope everybody can feel your presence, because it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to have your strength and to know that I'm there. So that would be great. Thank you. Amen. No judgments. I've just said that I've only just started praying, okay? I'm going to leave it there. And eat my food. And this is my first one, so you can tell me if it's just awful. Get off YouTube. Don't do it again. You know. All of my family and friends, you know, they already think I'm weird anyway. But, you know, I've got a new family now at church, and they are just amazing. And it's like my vicar said, when we go on Sunday, you know, what am you doing? What am you doing for the week? You know, don't just come to church on Sunday and, sing to God and that and Jesus and that, because that's not good enough. So I'm going to try this. And then if that don't work, I'm going to try and figure something else out. Okay, I'm going to go now because I've been saying I'm going to go for the last 10 minutes. Okay, bye. Bye, and peace be with you. Bye.